The Magic Show is brought to you by StarCityGames.com, and check this out. I have this really cool Magic Show playmat that just got released. And I don't know if you guys have seen it yet, but it is awesome. And me and Pete Heffling from StarCityGames.com have been working on this for a while to give you the ability to support the show and have something cool to show for it. This type of support allows me to buy equipment and go to different shows and places and bring you more cool stuff that you enjoy week in and week out. So I've been doing this for a couple years, get plenty of people asking me, you know, how can I help you? How can I support the show? Well, this is it, ladies and gentlemen. Check out StarCityGames.com and pick up your Magic Show playmat today.
Hi, it's Antoine Ruel. Welcome to the Magic Show.
Everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Magic Show. This week we're focusing once again on Zendikar. New spoilers have come to light, ridiculousness is at an all-time high, and if you were looking for an incredibly powerful and exciting set to take the place of Lorwyn and define our standard environment, you got one. Let's go! So this week some incredible spoilers have come up on our radar, and let's get to talking about them. First I'll start with a fatty, because who doesn't love the fatties? Check out Terra Stomper. Now that's a fatty! Holy crap, I would like to take a moment here and appreciate the creature power creep we've seen over the years. Terra Stomper comes from a long line of just how good can we make it for the cost cards, and I guess we'll just go old school and feature Force of Nature here. Yeah, this is Force of Nature 2.0 with an easier casting cost, same stats, and it's 100% going to rock the battlefield like a hurricane when it hits. Yes, it's no longer 1993 and we're no longer excited by a 4 green mana upkeep. Of course, Itty comes into effect here, aka it dies to everything. But if you don't have the removal spell, you know what's going to happen next. Speaking of the fat, instead of a 6 mana version, let's go 1 mana instead. Have you seen the Itty Bitty and highly adorable Scute Mob? Oh yes, it's a good Scute Mob, yes him is. Oh, this cute little 1/1 is what I call dangerous. And no, not in the Michael Jackson way, but in the oh my god, are you serious dangerous? The fact is, Scute Mob gets out of control pretty much faster than any other 1/1 ever made, perhaps sans Figure of Destiny, given that you have 5 lands in play. Of course, whenever you have a good green creature, the first thing you hear is Tarmogoyf, 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 but for me, I see a dude who is the best ranger of EO's target ever. It's basically a 1 mana 5/5 and needs only a few counterspells and or a time warp to be truly ridiculous. You got the cancel for their Doomblade or Lightning Bolt and they got nothing else. What are they going to do except lose? This is a card who splits the camps once again, half saying it's the dumbest green-blue finisher ever, the other half wondering what the first half is talking about. I would say this card is not to be underestimated, but don't go paying $20 for it just yet. Up next is one of the most exciting pump spells ever. Check out Vines of Vastwood. Firstly, let's just get the cost out of the way. This is a green-green spell. If you play it for only a green mana, I think you're probably getting some fantastic utility out of it, saving your creature from removal most likely, but it's better to get your chocolate with your peanut butter and simply dodge the removal spell and smack them for 4 more. For me, this is another example of Wizards trying to make combat tricks matter. I mean, they give us Giant Growth and we shrug. They give us Colossal Might and we shrug. Now they give us Stonewood Invocation 2.0, much cheaper and more cost efficient, and I really hope this one makes the cut. This is both a trick and a pump, and with no damage on the stack any longer, this spell got even better. A monster in draft and sealed, it may be just enough to break into constructed applications. But screw the combat tricks, let's get into something really exciting. Have you seen Archive Trap? Unbelievably cool. Why? Because it rests squarely in the middle of the Spike and Timmy zone. Timmy, as a player psychographic, is the type of player who enjoys milling the cards amongst other things. This one, it does all of that most of the time for free. So high five to that. But Spike wants to win. What does Spike get out of this card? Notice that 13 cards is a very peculiar number. But what is 13 times 4? 52. How many cards will be left in a 60-card standard deck after their opponent drew their opening 7, then played and used one of those shiny new fetch lands? That's right, if you have all 4 archive traps in your hand when they go off to find themselves a land, you just mill their entire freaking library. Wow! Now that is fantastic, not only because of Magical Christmas Land, where these things happen, it's all sunshine and lollipops, but that the card is potentially useful enough for the tournament tables and crazy fun for the kitchen tables. Also note that Wizards definitely chose to word it target opponent puts the top 13 cards, because otherwise you'd have some seriously out of control extended dredge decks milling themselves to pieces on the first turn. But I digress. Next up, how about some EDH Generals? Don't play EDH? That's Elder Dragon Highlander, a 100-card singleton format played on kitchen tables and tournament side events around the world, where you choose a legendary creature as your general, and all cards in your deck must be the same colors as that general. And man, have WotC given you some awesome EDH Generals. First up, let's take a look at probably the best limited bomb in the set, Colitas, Blood Chief of Get. Yeah, I want you to read that ability again really closely. It encompasses the three awesomes of a great limited card: card advantage, creature advantage, and creature kill. All of that, and look even closer, Colitas can target himself. That's right, with 3 black mana open, your opponent will have to kill that 5/5 monster twice, and then you can play another copy if you want it. Just insane and one hell of a mono black EDH General. If you open this up and sealed, feel free to take a victory lap around the table, because you deserve it. But what about blue mages? Check out the feistiest octopus around, Lorthos the Tidemaker. Oh yeah, he's large, in charge, is an 8/8 for 8 that taps 8 permanents for 8 mana. That's a lot of 8s, and that's a lot of whooping. Lorthos will make any EDH player giggle with glee, and if you actually get to bash in the red zone with this monster and happen to have 8 mana available, I'd safely assume the game just ended. But in multiplayer, this guy gets a lot more interesting and allow you to pick and choose permanents from across all the battlefields for which to target. This is one of those cards that if it doesn't excite you, it wasn't meant for you. I love old Lorthos, and I look forward to building an EDH deck around him soon. Jumping around, I am absolutely in love with Emiria the Sky Ruin. Now, that's an incredible land right there. Valakut the Molten Pinnacle was one thing, but this guy is way over the power curve for a mere land. Sure, it needs 7 other planes, but what deck was virtually begging for this card? Yep, that's Martyr of Sands and Extended, a card so stupid and scary that Wizards immediately printed its antithesis 2 sets later in Planar Chaos to keep it in check. Once this thing sticks, and note it is not a legendary land, you will be gaining Infi life soon thereafter. And then it's just a Chrono Savant or whatever later and the game's all wrapped up. Again, probably too slow for Standard, but with Extended's now 8 Wrath of Gods courtesy of Day of Judgment, I think you'll be seeing a lot more of Emiria as Extended season gets closer. Speaking of lands, how about the dual land cycle? Yep, everybody loves them and I'm no stranger. This go around we have some strictly better lands we need to discuss. Do you remember the Invasion comes into play tapped cycle, Coastal Tower, Elfheim Palace, and so on? Remember how beautiful the art was and how painless dual lands returned, albeit slightly underpowered for the first time since revised? Yeah, screw those cards. We got better ones. Now we have Enters the Battlefield tab dual lands that not only don't hurt you, they gain you 1 life when you play them. Talk about obsoleting your past cards. I never thought that Invasion duels were that bad to begin with, and now they basically bribe you to play them, as the Shards of Alara Tri-lands are probably too good and they have to give you some reason to play these. It's simply fascinating and somewhat troubling how quickly older cards are getting dismissed by current designs. But moving on, how about the sickest joke in the whole set? Have you seen Halo Hunter? Get the hell out of here. This is such a low blow, Wizards. I don't know what else to call it. Of course you couldn't make this a horror or a zombie or something. No, it has to be a demon. That way, those $30 flying pieces of mythic ridiculousness will still be ruling the skies of Standard, and black decks will continue to rely on Doomblade or Consume Spirit to take her down. So instead of a powerful and unique way to deal with Baneslayer Angel, we get a powerful and unique way to suck righteously in the current format. High five. But what about some new counterspelly goodness? Check out Spell Pierce. Yes! Now that is Force Spike 2.0, bigger, longer, and uncut. The implications of this spell are great, particularly in older formats that chug along on 3 to 4 mana, that is, Legacy and Vintage. These will be the most impacted by this spell, I believe, but rest assured Extended and Standard will benefit from this almost Force Spike but kinda better in the coming months. It's no Spell Snare, but what is? All I know is, now with only a single blue mana up, Control Mirrors will think long and hard before tapping out for a cruel ultimatum. I hope this thing plays as good as it looks. Speaking of control decks, let's give them an awesome tool, shall we? Check out World Queller. Yeah, Love this guy. This gives Control Decks answers to anything. Any permanent on the field has a type that can be named with World Queller, and so any permanent on the field is suspect. Also note it's a May ability. World Queller deals with Terra Stomper just like it deals with Soren Markov and just like it deals with Oblivion Ring. It's not overcosted by any means. It has a respectable 4/4 body, and I think will be a sleeper hit until people realize how valuable his Braids-esque ability is. Fantastically versatile card. And while we're on the subject of Control Decks, how about one of the most powerful creatures ever? Check out Iona, Shield of Emeria. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the Reanimator player's dream card. Hell, let's just go one step further and not even take it out of the graveyard with Zombify. But what about searching your library for it and Painter's Servant with Tooth and Nail? Oh yeah, no one plays any more spells for the rest of the game and I beat you to death with my big flying angel? Sounds good. Iona is a monster for EDH decks, standard control decks, cube draft, reanimator decks, and more. Did I mention she's an angel, which is of course one of the best and lauded creature types in the game? I would expect no less for one of the most badass creatures ever. But how about the most badass creature in Zendikar? I'm pretty sure we found it. It's a mythic, and it's definitely coming to a tournament table near you. Feast your eyes on Lotus Cobra. Oh my God. I don't know what else to say, but that this creature is freaking insane and will be impacting for years to come. Yes, years. This guy is so good, let me count the ways. First, he's cheap. He hits on turn 2, and he's even better if he was assisted by something like Noble Hierarch or Llanowar Elves. Secondly, he's a 2/1 for 2 mana, efficient enough to still get in there and bash face if need be. Thirdly, his ability stacks. 2 of these guys give you 2 free mana for each land drop. Fourthly, the ability makes every fetch land you play a Black Lotus. That is dumb. I don't know how much I can really explain how far above the curve is with Lotus Cobra, but I'll try. First of all, he doesn't even need accelerators or fetch lands to be great. He just needs you to play lands, which is what you do every turn anyway. Just imagine turn 3, you play your land and then play Bloodbraid Elf and flip up Maelstrom Pulse and or Blightning. How much further did you get ahead there? Again, this isn't Magical Christmas Land. This is basic everyday Jund cards that you can play together. But hell, if we want to visit Magical Christmas Land, we should. Here's an example of dumb Lotus Cobra plays. Turn 3 Violent Ultimatum, shall we? Turn 1 Noble Hierarch. Turn 2 Cobra and play a fetch land. Turn 3, play another fetch land for a free mana. Use it for another free mana. Tap that land for 3 mana total. Now use your fetch land for 4 mana. Tap it for the 5th mana. Play Harrow. Get 2 free mana for the lands that come into play, taking you back up to 4 mana again. Tap those 2 for 6 mana, then use Noble Hierarch for the final 7th mana to which to cast Violent Ultimatum. Then your opponent plays Spell Pierce and laughs in your face. Ha! Yep, it's Magical Christmas Land for everybody, even your opponent. The implications of this card are astounding, and the way it puts you that much further past your opponent in resources is incredibly scary. This reminds me of one of the tenets of playing Magic back in the day. If your opponent opens with a first turn Birds of Paradise, you kill it on the spot. No questions. Nowadays, if your opponent plays a second turn Lotus Cobra, you kill it on the spot right now. You don't think about it, you just do it. This guy is no joke, and we'll see a ton of play in a huge variety of formats. Opening a 4-1 of these at the pre-release isn't a winning lottery ticket, but it's damn close. All I know is Zendikar is absolutely ridiculous. I thought I was excited about Lorwyn, or the, in hindsight, pretty damn disappointing Conflux, or even the awesome Alara Reborn in M10. But no, this set is where it's at. Destined to be one of those you should have played when this was out sets. Zendikar will be talked about for years and years, and I suggest you plan on getting yourself to a pre-release next week to enjoy the set before you can buy it. I'll be in Richmond, Virginia this go around with Ken Nagel from Wizards of the Coast slinging cards and signing playmats as necessary. Try and make it, won't you? Next week we'll talk more about Zendikar and its impending release and more. So until next time, Magic players, this is Evan Irwin, tapping the cards so you don't have to.
I always like the fatties.